Ladies and gentlemen, week 6 is upon us. Paul is here with me, I'm Jake, and we're back for another episode of Better Life. How's everyone doing? Can't hear you, so it doesn't matter. Paul, what's going on?
We're here.
We're
Week
back.
6.
We're here.
And guess what? I'm wrong about everything.
And we're late. We're late again, but we're here. And
we're late. Full-time jobs are hard.
we do stuff. We do things and stuff. And
you've got flights. I've got 10-hour shifts.
It's
This is what we do.
Until you guys start listening, tell your friends more about it. We're gonna have to work regular jobs until this bitch can pay for us. Get over
Support
it.
the Patreon.
That's what it's gonna do. And I do have a Patreon, JakeRiderComedy.com. Click on Patreon, and if you just click that it's for this, then I would have to split half of it with Paul. So just click that it's only for me, and then we won't have to worry about that at all.
Oh, hey Jake. Hey
kidding.
Jake.
What?
Don't pay me. Hey Jake.
I'm kidding.
I'll fall upwards into this. Jake is my ticket into podcasting. In case any of you haven't realized in this podcasting, in the past, 6 episodes, this is all Jake.
It's not all me.
Yes, it is.
I just produce it.
My wild
UFC
takes,
content.
your sound suppression, and that's it.
It just takes...
I snore in the background.
You don't snore in the background. I barely have UFC content. I just talk about hockey and football and shit. And I interject when I recognize some of the fighters and I remember fights and stuff, and I'll interject those and to get filled in. But otherwise, I really do not lead the show when it comes to UFC. That is absolutely not true.
Okay, but I guess to actually get the show on tracks here, what I mean by wrong about everything is I was correct that we might need to have a weigh-in show. We might have to do 2 times a week because there are so many fights that fall off by Saturday morning. It's insane.
Yeah.
We had Drakkar Klose fall out. We had Jamal Evers fall out. We had that Rafael dude miss weight by 12 pounds.
It's a lot.
There's another person, too.
12 pounds? How do you miss by 12 pounds? How much did you not listen to your coach to have to miss by 12 pounds?
He blamed the salmon.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, yeah, the fish.
He blamed the fish.
Get out of here. It's like the lightest thing you can eat meat-wise. It's barely meat. It's basically eggs. It's basically a vegetable. It's hardly protein. So I don't want to hear about how that's... No, get out of here.
Yeah, so we've been joking about this for anyone that's been listening. We've been joking about this for a while, that we need to do 2 episodes a week. But what day? At what day do we fight? Do we just do this live at the prelims when the fights are actively falling out? Because Chaz Skelly was standing in the ring and he didn't know that he had a fight. Chaz Skelly's standing in the ring.
Not only did he not know there wasn't a fight, almost everyone didn't know that there wasn't a fight. No one knew except for 3 people who then come in later and they're like, hey, just cut this out.
I'm starting to think we might have to do this live. Because we can't give the people odds if we can't genuinely know if the fights are gonna happen.
If they're even gonna go down. Exactly. There's all these odds, but what does it matter if the fight doesn't fucking happen?
We're just talking about fictitious fights at this point.
We really are. We're talking hypothetically at that point. We really are. We really are. And dude, I watched a video on PEDs in the UFC, and we were talking about that doctor in week 2, that it was pre-UFC, post-UFC when this doctor came in and cleaned it up.
Oh no!
I had his name picked out, and then I closed all the tabs. What was that?
Well, let's just go.
It was crazy, man. This dude comes in with
just go.
What?
No, just go on.
That's what I was talking about. What do you mean go on? I'm talking. I'm in the middle of talking, and you're like, go on. Yeah. What are you talking about? Jesus.
What, you don't have notes here?
No, of course I had. I did have all my tabs pulled up earlier, and then you had to go to work. But I was looking at...
No.
Fuck, man, I don't have that tab anymore. But like, there was this doctor that came in the UFC to clean it all up, blah 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 blah. Anyway, they're like making a documentary
Oh,
on
the
this.
Golden Snitch.
Yeah, dude. Yes. They're making like an actual documentary on this dude, and I am so
Yes.
excited. I'm so excited. Like, I want to know about how many dudes were doing. Like, how many Mark McGuires are there in the UFC? Like, how many Barry Bonds do we have in the UFC? I want to know.
Well, in my honest opinion, it's a cops versus robbers situation.
As in, it's gonna happen. They just don't have the test for it yet. Kind of situation.
No, the cops are always chasing the robbers, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
In every single situation you can imagine, the quote-unquote robbers, or whatever noun you want to put in that situation, they're always going to be chased by the cops. They're always one step ahead. Right?
I mean, generally, yes.
That's what I mean.
Generally speaking,
that's
yes.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, it'll be like the Silk Road.
At the highest level of anything, especially sports, that's what's probably going to happen. You can watch the Icarus documentary,
Dude, Icarus
and
was
it's
nuts.
it's a lucrative sport.
Icarus was nuts. I think you told me about that documentary. That's when I watched it. I think you told me about it. But fucking crazy. Fucking crazy, dude. They were like full-on blood doping under the orders of like Vladimir Putin. How crazy. Like, can you imagine it comes out that Barack Obama is telling Michael Phelps to blood dope? Like, how great would that be? Or Donald Trump comes out and does it? Or whoever the hell we have Biden right now?
My favorite thing is they're looking at those samples and they're like, yeah, you can't twist those caps off. And they're seeing the scratch marks in the test tubes. And you're like, yeah, maybe.
They go up under there and there's like, oh yeah, they had like holes in the wall that they...
Could you imagine showing that to an auditor? Like, anybody with a real job, like anybody that has had a job that matters anywhere, you show that to your manager, all the scratch marks in the tube. You're like,
hey,
yeah, that's normal.
Something is off about this. Does it come manufactured like? Yeah, that's from when they make the molten glass. Sometimes I just scratch the fuck out of it before they ship it to us. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here we are. But okay, so let's get back on track here. The main event of last weekend was a beautiful, the biggest upset since UFC 199 Bisping versus Rockhold when I was a teenager.
Which wasn't long ago.
In my mind, it was a long time ago.
Like, when I was a teenager, you're 24, 20, like, you're fucking not that old.
Yeah, Derek Lewis knocked Curtis Blades out cold.
Yeah.
And not only did he knock him out cold, but he knocked him out cold 3 seconds before my 1.5 prop that I put on last week's podcast. So
rest in peace, your mom.
I don't know what to say.
Other than that, you were wrong, and
by 3 seconds, and it hurts.
But wrong.
I looked before this show. I looked at my ESPN app because I was like, there's no way that it didn't last 7.5 minutes. I was close. I saw the 123, and I'm like, that had to have been at the bottom. Like, there's no way. But yeah, no. Lewis timed it. He said in the conference that he wanted the uppercut or the knee, and yeah. What do you think?
Well, to be honest with you, first of all, the UFC is weird to me because I'm still getting to learn the UFC. I'm getting like into this curve of the UFC still because I'm sure everyone by now is listening. I'm not the premier UFC side. That's you, obviously. So like, it's just crazy to me to like watch all these fights because like just the sheer like they just beat the fuck out of each other. Like just the amount of they can't even walk sometimes after they're done. Like, okay, let's talk about the dude who took off his pants, and Joe Rogan's like, man, why'd you take your pants off? And he's like, because my balls was hot. That dude, like, where are you going to see that anywhere else? Anywhere else? Is anyone going to take their pants off in front of everyone and then tell Joe Rogan that my balls was hot? Like, that is a premier event that you can only catch at UFC. Like, I'm more into just everything into entertainment. So if it's entertaining to me, I'm into it. And that event to me was the most entertaining thing that happened in UFC so far.
Yeah, well, it's like, the thing is every time that we go out there and pretend that a division is cooked, right, we're like, well, these guys have a perfect line to the championship. Oh, we've got Ngannou versus Stipe. What else? Derek Lewis is like, what? Who has a win over Ngannou? And, man, that was clean. And, that's the problem, man. These underdogs keep barking. The dogs are barking every single week.
Do you think this is like the most underdog a year that's happened in a long time? Like, is it just the fucking I've been locked up and I want to get out and fight now? Like, or what the hell is it?
No. I don't know if it's like the amount of money that's being steamed, but it's like for us to compare Bisping to Rockhold 2 is madness to me. And we have this in the notes. I can riff on this for about 20 minutes if we want to. But Luke Rockhold was one of my favorite fighters ever. And there's a huge cult of fans that love Luke Rockhold. It's the Cain Velasquez crew, it's the Daniel Cormier crew. But Rockhold came out there and he won the belt over Chris Weidman, who was the Silva killer. The spider.
Right.
He went out there, broke his leg, knocked him out. He was
Dude,
the Silva killer.
That broken leg was... It just grossed me out, man. I can't see shit like that.
Okay, so he gets surgery, right, and gets a metal rod in his shin.
Right. A new core.
And then he fights Nick Diaz with that metal rod. Could you imagine blocking kicks?
No.
Against a dude with a metal rod?
No, but can you imagine
Do you know
breaking
how confused?
your leg? Well, can you imagine breaking your shin like that and then trying to be confident enough to kick someone with it? Like,
how confused is Nick Diaz as he's blocking metal rods?
Yeah, well, he's fighting the fucking Wolverine. They're just he's like he's basically he's got metal bones, dude. He's fucking. It's great. Can you imagine like there's just titanium in my leg. What? Excuse me, I have to fight that? Do you think he's got extra muscle on his leg with the more weight because of the metal?
Anyways, back to my riff.
Fine.
It's
your riff. No.
We're good. So Luke Rockhold had this huge following after the Chris Weidman fight, where he went out there, mauled Chris Weidman, and everyone thought he was the next big middleweight champion. We had Anderson, who had the giant win streak, defended his belt the whole time, and now we had Rockhold, and Rockhold went out there and got destroyed by Bisping. And Bisping knocked him dead with a huge hook. And that was the last biggest underdog favorite. And before that, Rockhold had head kicked him into a submission. So the odds were shattered. The odds were plus 600, plus 500. But now Lewis is up here at plus 450. And that was the last time we saw these kind of odds. And I don't even know where to put money anymore, because I can't go on this podcast and be consistently wrong.
Yes, you can.
I would love to.
You've been doing it. It's fine. It's been a growing podcast. The more you've been wrong, the more we get downloads. Seems to be a good thing, actually. I want you to be wrong by 3 seconds more often, because this has been great for the numbers. Let me tell you.
Dude, we had to stall the start of this thing because I couldn't believe I was off by 3 seconds.
It was good. I mean, it's one of those things where you check the timer and you're like, how many rounds is that? is that half? And then you're like, it's not. Fuck me sideways. It's not a full half. And then you lose your money.
But So we can jump to the co-main event, and that was Yana Kutskaya over Ketlin Vieira.
As well.
I thought Vieira would do it, but Yana deserved that win. Under Pride rules, damage, strike totals, Yana deserved that win. I don't see how Vieira won it.
Well, because I mean, it's almost like when Rogan talks about the scoring problems in the UFC and how like an obvious winner can still lose a match over like weird scoring technicalities. And I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know how they score. I don't understand. So like I even get shocked as like when you're watching and you're like, wait, who won? Like that guy? How the fuck did they win? And like I don't even understand it sometimes. And which obviously is, I mean, it makes sense. I don't, because obviously Rogan doesn't even get it sometimes. But I truly don't understand how scoring works. Like, do you think they're gonna amend scoring?
The problem is like how do you fix it, right? So like I've seen Rogan especially because Rogan has this hilarious idea where he's like, what if we had 7 referees, or maybe 100 referees, maybe we had 1,000 referees, and or judges, not referees, judges,
Right.
and it's I don't know, maybe 5 is the correct answer, but I think we're on the right track. We we need more educated judges. A lot of them are boxing. A lot of them have a very tough grasp of positions and submissions and who's winning in a submission, who's getting out of a submission, who's in a positive grappling
Well, what's to
position.
stop them from
But
like hiring someone like Randy Couture or like former fighters or Brock Nelson or someone like come in and be a judge? You know, like why wouldn't someone do that? 'Cause instead of having a boxer, why wouldn't you have like a former like Randy would be a very good, and I feel like Lesnar would too. I feel like they'd be very good non-biased judges. I do.
uh,
I know Lesnar's got his whole like tested positive thing, but like so did Barry Bonds, and we're all talking about look at him go. We're all talking about and he tested positive.
I don't think either of those guys have any interest in the public.
Well, I don't think so either, but it's an example of some like who would make a better judge, I guess. Because if you're taking only boxing, then it'd be tough to. Because I guess I like I said, I have no idea. I don't. I'm not even gonna pretend to.
Yeah, I mean, Dana always says, don't leave it in the hands of the judges. And we all shrug our shoulders and then say, yeah, Dana's right. And then other times we shrug our shoulders and we're like, oh man, Dana, what are you talking about? And I feel like this is one of those things, man, where we see it every single event. And Ketlin Vieira versus Yana was one of those things, and I'm siding with Yana.
I don't want to pick a side because I don't know enough about how to judge a fight. I just don't. Like when they because I don't think it was a completely one way or another fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
can
don't
debate
know.
you to the end
Right,
about strike
but and
totals.
you would probably win the debate because you know more about this. You know, I'm not going to pretend, but like for an average viewer, someone who doesn't have a black belt like you, like just you have a black belt. I don't think we've talked about that yet. Like
No, it's just in kicking people in the head.
but
That's all.
you still have a black belt. So like you can't like pretend that you don't have a really decent understanding of the sport. You know, because you have a very in depth understanding compared to me. You know, I would just kick the fuck out of people on the playground. That's it. That was my karate. You know, it's
And
get the
so I
fights.
don't think I've ever said this on the podcast, but the thing that took me the longest time to get my first degree, my first Dan, I had to send my black belt to Korea and back. It took 3 months to get that thing with a stripe, my name, and my name in Korean on the belt after a master of Taekwondo signed off on it. Took a 3 month process.
Man, it sounds like you had to send
So
it to the government. Shit, that's
I
government
know,
time.
yeah, they're
That's
like, I
U.S.
need
Postal
your
Service
social
time.
security number, all this information, and they were just, oh man.
All right, let's move on to. Do you want to move on to this upcoming week?
I mean, we can riff hard on Aspinall. I like Aspinall. There were some heavyweights that performed.
Yeah.
This past 2 weeks have been the week of the heavyweights. But we've got Aspinall, we had Dawkins this past weekend. And I like Aspinall, but he needs a lot of improvement with his volume. And Dawkins, he did look very good. It might look like he's got a lot of power, but we're going to have to see what he looks like at the upper levels, especially with his grappling, because he may have ran through Olynyk.
Ran through Olynyk?
Yeah, Alexei Olynyk had a fight versus Dawkins.
Never mind. Yep, continue. Yep.
Yeah, that was a really tough one to watch, especially for anyone who's been a fan of Olynyk for a long time. I remember when he fought Travis Brown, and that was insane because Travis Brown is this giant Hawaiian dude who played basketball. And it was this wild fight versus him, who's like 5'9", 5'8". I forget how tall Olynyk is, but he fights Travis Brown, who's now Ronda Rousey's husband, and he destroyed Brown. And it was, I thought Brown was good. I thought that was Brown's comeback fight.
Sorry.
And
I have the fight right here.
I thought that was the Brown comeback fight. I thought that was the one that would bring him back to MMA, especially with Ronda was gone. Ronda was, out of WWE. She was out of fighting. It's Travis's time, and he gets obliterated by this Russian dude.
Man, look at all this blood. Dude. Oh my fuck. I can't show everyone because I'll get this video pulled down, but goddamn, dude, just watching these dudes just fucking get just bashed in the face with a fucking elbow repeatedly, and then they're just like, I'm fine, dude, and they get up and keep fighting. Like, oh my god, I would be like, I think I'd die actually. I'd just give up. I would tell my soul to leave my body. I don't want to be there anymore.
Explode into dust before they hit you.
Just snap my fingers like Thanos. And I'll just.
Wait, can you scroll up into the notes and see the biggest win of the night? The Zahabi win.
Yes. Zahabi.
That is George St. Pierre's coach's brother.
George St. Pierre's coach's brother. Okay.
Yeah. Ayman Zahabi. He has had the greatest matchmaking ever. And he's had losses, but I said that despite being a plus 150, he had to be the guy, and he ended up going out there getting a highlight reel first round knockout. I believe it was first round. And his brother's Firas Zahabi, legendary
Dude,
George
okay?
St. Pierre coach.
You look like you're about to fall asleep fucking talking to me right now. You look so fucked up. You look like you're just tired as balls. Stop working at 4 a.m.
It is tough.
It's only, what is it, almost 10 by you? 10:17 by you?
It is 10.
Yeah. Wake up. It's early. No, I'm just shitting on you, dude. You were talking last week? We were talking about Spivak, and we were talking about God, I don't remember exactly, but I think we were talking about how he was the underdog, and I'm just wondering, like, has your opinion changed on that at all?
Spivak? I mean, he won.
I mean, he won, but
he
like
went out there and proved that the UFC level is far too high for a lot of guys that come in.
From that just enter the league, or from anywhere, or from like somewhere specific, or what do you mean by that?
Well, a lot of guys look at Spivak and they see the losses and they see a lot of his wins, which are tough. But when I saw him take out Tuivasa, I saw a lot of improvements, and that means a lot to me. Like, a lot of people can go out there and say, oh, he's got an undefeated record. He has this and that. But when you out there at the UFC level, you take out another guy who has had 4 wins or more, like Tuivasa, that's a lot of improvements. And to do that at the highest levels, that means a lot. And when I see Spivak go out there and he's a kind of contentious or he's a semi-favorite, you gotta bet on that guy on the prelims.
Well, it worked out for you because you had him on your parlay.
I did like him.
Yeah, so it worked out for you. We were talking
I
about...
like Zahabi too.
Yeah. Well, you wrote, Draco missed his weight. We were talking about how he missed it by 12 fucking pounds.
No. Draco had his cornerman test positive.
Wait, what?
No, Drakkar Close. Is that who you're talking about?
No, Draco Rodriguez.
Oh, you're talking about Rodriguez. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, who are you talking about? I'm sorry.
Drakkar Close. His fight with Luis Pena.
Yeah, what about it?
Yeah, Drakkar Close had one of his cornermen test positive for COVID, and the fight got canceled the day of.
Okay, I didn't know that was what canceled it, though.
Yeah, that was one of the fights I was really looking forward to, and it kind of washed a lot of my parlays into straight bets. Yeah, it turned out that I ended up having a lot of bets on favorites at weekend.
Did it end up working out in the end, or no?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you don't feel good about betting on a bunch of favorites. You wanna pick the dogs, and you go as a hobby, and he's plus 150 when you bet on him, and that's nice. But you want the parlay, and the parlay ends up washing, and then the fight isn't gonna happen again, so you just get paid out right away.
Weren't we just talking about how
late? What you're talking about is going hard into next weekend. This upcoming weekend, you're going hard.
I'm going hard? Or, are you hypothetically...
All of us are going hard into Gan and Ankalaev.
I just had no idea what the hell you were talking about.
Gan, Ankalaev, and Alexander Hernandez.
Rivera.
All 3 of those guys, absolute locks for this Saturday.
So that's who you're going with them?
That's it.
Okay, so everyone pick the opposite.
No can defend.
Pick the opposite people. Paul's always wrong, so don't pick them, because otherwise you're fucked.
Yeah, right. The problem is, okay, we can start at the top, right? So we've got Cyril Gane versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. And a lot of people are overlooking the fact that Gane outweighs him by about 15 to 20 pounds.
Right.
That's huge at heavyweight. Because Rozenstruik, no offense to anybody who could lose weight at the heavyweight level, but he could lose some weight and he'd be a cruiserweight. He really should be the 225 to 235 pound guy, right, where Gane could legitimately be a massive 265er. He's gonna outweigh him by 15 pounds.
He might.
And he's got a submission game.
Still gotta weigh in.
I really want to see if Gane goes out there and presses the wrestling. Because that would be really impressive to me.
Are you saying that after the weigh-in, he'll be gaining all that weight back to... Because at the weigh-in, don't they have to... They still have to weigh in.
Well, they weigh in on Friday.
Right.
And I think Gane will weigh in around 255, or Rozenstruik will weigh in at 250. But I think Gane he won't cut, but that's a guy who is kind of conscious of his weight, and he's very much more lean.
Okay.
Where I don't know. He's a much bigger guy, and I want to see him press the wrestling. That is where he's going to prove to me if he's the next level.
Well, wouldn't you also be looking for more of a jiu-jitsu approach then, if you're looking for more of a ground approach style of combat?
Well, he has a heel hook victory in the UFC. So I want to see if that's a fluke or not.
I don't see if that's a fluke, he just walked into it luckily.
No, well, okay. I mean, Francis Ngannou was taught the shoulder lock, the key lock that he did in his debut, and I forget the man he did it against, but he did that against the cage, threw it up against him, and then won by submission. So sometimes, just maybe, you learn something in practice, and you just win by it. You're just like, oh, this guy's giving me his ankle. How about I just send his kneecap to the ceiling?
Send his kneecap.
I mean, that's what would have happened if he didn't tap.
It's just funny the way that you said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole thing would have popped.
The tension on his ACL would have been so massive that his knee would have physically exploded.
Oh, his patella would have, a fan would have caught it.
His patella?
Yeah, like a fan would have sent that thing home.
Speaking of patella, you saw it's Tom Segura's patella tear, right? When he snapped his knee.
Oh, no.
You didn't see it?
I feel like we've done this before.
Have we? Maybe we have. I'll not show it then.
Dude, the sad, and this is where I'll end it. That was a 9-foot rim.
That was a 9.5-foot rim.
Stop it.
It was. They moved it up 6 inches, and that was when Tristan
Disgraceful.
that was when Tristan was like, "You've got to dig deep. You really got to want it." And Tom's like, "Okay, all right, man." And then he just pushes off his leg. Pop!
It's 10 feet or nothing.
It's just, yeah, we were talking about this because we were talking about how you had your basketball thing on the curb, and you had
right?
yeah. We were talking about that. Yeah. All right, we won't talk about
that. No. So this is the next fight is one that hurts me, and we've got Ankalaev fighting Nikita Krylov. And I like Krylov. He's a guy who works really hard. He's got a lot of skills, but I think he's way overmatched against Ankalaev. I think he tunes him up on the feet. Ankalaev has a really good open stance. So a lot of guys have called him Southpaw. A lot of guys have penned him as like a striker or a wrestler or whatever. But his biggest thing is he likes the open stance. And what that means is if you're an orthodox guy, they're going Southpaw. If you're a Southpaw guy, he's going orthodox. And he likes that wide open head kick. And he sends that thing hard. And he'll send the high round kick and then he'll fire the straight. And that guy has tuned that thing through the amateur scene. He's tuned it through the amateur MMA scene. He's brought it into the UFC. But yeah, Ankalaev is going to put on a show against Krylov.
Where did he come from? What was his league before the UFC?
Ankalaev, I'm not sure what happened with Ankalaev, but Nikita Krylov has been a UFC veteran for a very long time. Beat Johnny Walker. He has done very well for himself, and he's kind of had a cult following. But Ankalaev is, man, when he went out there against Ian Kudalaba and knocked him out, not once but twice, he proved to me, I mean, we both know the hardest thing to do in sports is to beat somebody twice.
Well, especially because he has more knockout wins than decision wins.
Yeah, well, it's a tough game, man.
Well, like how many people have more knockouts than submissions? Like, he has 9 knockouts and 6 submissions, and only 1 loss. So, like, I mean, how many fighters have that? Not many.
Yeah, I don't know, but I like how both guys are searching for the finish. Like, if you look at Ankalaev, you look at Krylov's record, both guys are hunting for the finish. Like, these guys don't want to see the judges' scorecards.
Right. No, they want to finish it.
Yeah. And then we've got, so looking down the card, we've got Jimmy Rivera versus Pedro Munoz. And I still like Jimmy Rivera. I think that he has the timing. I think his volume is there. And unless Pedro Munoz just absolutely surprises me, I think Jimmy Rivera's got this. Maybe by decision. But I don't like the odds at all. I haven't looked at them.
It's just pretty equally. It's a good card. It's pretty equally matched.
Mm-hmm. Then we've got Alexander Hernandez versus Thiago Moises. I like Hernandez. I think he's Moises was last seen beating Michael Johnson, but he was also last seen having a really rough first round versus Michael Johnson. And I think Alexander Hernandez has the goods. and I can't really describe to you what the goods are, but Alexander Hernandez has the goods. And he had a rough showing against Donald Cerrone, but he had a great showing against Aubin Mercier. And I think that he can put it on Moises, and Hernandez is worth the money.
I'm just looking at what some of your notes that you have. You have written here Bilal versus Edwards, and you wrote, "What is Usman doing?" What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so that's jumping into like the matchmaking in the news that has been happening the past week.
Right.
So in the past week, we have the fight announcements of Bilal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards, and I think Leon skates. I think he really does it, but Usman's doing this really weird thing, right, where he called out Masvidal. But then he's also saying that he doesn't want Masvidal. And if you gotta wonder what Usman's plan is, right? Because does Usman want the Ultimate Fighter? Because if he wants the Ultimate Fighter, it has to be Masvidal. And is this a stunt? But if he doesn't want to do the Ultimate Fighter, it has to be Wonder Boy.
Right.
So it's what kind of role is Usman doing right now? Like, the Colby thing is not working out. They're not going to do a rematch with Colby. They're not doing the Gilbert rematch. Right. Masvidal without the Ultimate Fighter is a big stretch. So Usman is in the driver's seat, but I don't know what is going on. But I don't think he moves up. I think maybe if I was Usman, I would do Wonder Boy.
You would take Wonder Boy over, really?
I think and this is what I would do if I was Usman. If I am where you at, Ali Abdelaziz, I am saying his manager. I'm telling you, you did the jiu-jitsu guy in Gilbert Burns. Now you do the karate guy in Wonder Boy Thompson.
Yeah,
you
well, and
do
then you
the Wonder Boy. You do the welterweight karate tournament. You do every style. You do this like blood sport.
Okay. Well, I don't know. That seems like it's a lot.
You're not impressed.
I don't know if I'm fully on board yet. I might get there by next week, but I don't know if I'm fully on board quite yet.
Who's going to fight then?
Dude, I don't know.
Habib said he's done.
Dude, I know, but I want to believe it. Okay?
He's done, dude. Stop it.
Stop. No, you stop it. Because that's what everyone said about Floyd Mayweather and Brett Favre. And look who the fuck came back twice. Okay? You never know. Hold on for faith.
Dude, Habib said not only is he done, but Tony Ferguson isn't elite. Yeah. In his own words, he's like, not only am I retired, but I don't think Tony Ferguson is as good as me.
What do you want me to say? I mean, Jesus, you put me on the spot here.
I know, yeah. This is frontline news.
I don't know. I just think that would be the dopest shit. Usman could be.
I think it would, but I think what we have to do is we have to really accept that Habib is gone.
I know. It's like when Iron Man died at the end of the
legacies. Marvel movie. It's just over. It's Iron Man and the Avengers.
Right. He blew himself up. It's done. Everyone's like, there might be time travel. He might come back. No. Marvel movies are over.
Yeah, no. Robert Downey Jr. He's not there anymore.
He announced it on Rogan's podcast. He's done. He's not Iron Man anymore. It's set in stone. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, on to Dr. Dolittle movies.
Right, on to investigating animal crimes and pretending to be Sherlock Holmes once. Whatever that means.
Yeah, but the biggest thing that I'm wondering is where is Colby Covington? Because he's the guy. He's the guy. Because he, as much as I hate to say it, last week I came on here and said Masvidal's the guy in the driver's seat.
Right.
They've got the Ultimate Fighter. But the more I thought about it, Colby's actually the person in the driver's seat. Because Colby, he has the rematch with Usman, or he has the huge heated Florida rivalry. with Masvidal. So that's the biggest question mark. Where is Colby right now? And he had the heat with Leon Edwards, and I don't know. I think this was a big miss because when he took the Robbie Lawler fight, he took that on real short notice and put up a huge, like 500 strikes.
What? I don't get it. Like, how can you? Like, the UFC seems to be making these decisions like almost last minute a lot of times for these fights. Is it just because of COVID, or has this been a common thing in the UFC?
I think it's a willingness at the end of the day. I think Bilal really wants it. Like, Bilal's a guy who has really fought and he's lost and he's had tough fights and he's won them. And I think now is his chance and he sees it. But I think Leon might show him the next level. And that's tough to say because I like Bilal. He is a guy that has looked good on like DraftKings and he's won fantasy points for people. But I think Edwards might school him.
Well, just because you say that, I'm going to think that the opposite's going to happen. I think Edwards is going down.
As he should. But to continue, so here's the thing with the women's bantamweight division. Every so often, you'll see a contender. And then that contender gets 2 wins in a row. And then that contender gets destroyed by Holly Holm.
Yep.
And that's what's going to happen to Juliana Pena, because Juliana Pena is fighting Holly Holm, and that ain't going to go well for her.
But it's going to be fun to watch Holly Holm have a good time. She's going to have fun, and that's what matters. It's about having fun. And we can all thank Holly Holm for giving herself a good, fun time that day. As she's just beating the life. She's just pounding her elbow into eye sockets. We have to appreciate that.
The last time that I paid all of my bills in a UFC ticket was Holm over Aldana. And every single person in the world thought Aldana was going to beat Holm. And I was on Holm the entire time as an underdog. And I won hundreds.
Attaboy. I haven't made hundreds yet. I did. My Super Bowl payout was the most I've ever made on betting so far.
It was wild.
Well, congratulations on that win. That's dope.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And that's what you want. That's what we do here. We've said it for the longest time. Is you look at the bookies and you're like, is Holly Holm the same week that she gets inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame going to lose? The same week that she was inducted. Do I have to repeat this?
What do you mean?
She was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Right. Well, what do you mean? Why? What do you mean? I guess what do you
mean? That's that weekend she fought a girl who was 25 years old.
Right.
That would be like me and you.
Right.
Imagine me and you are like, we're going to fight Holly Holm.
No. I don't want to fight Holly Holm. You do it. I'll watch, man, but I am not going up against her.
Oh, we'd be hoes.
I'd be fucked. I would be...
We wouldn't even know how to start.
My spleen would
imagine us hitting pads.
She would look at me... Oh.
Like, imagine me and you, like, training. We're like, alright, we're going to do the jab, the 1-2. We're going to do some head movement.
I have to find this real quick. There is the funniest thing. There's a guy holding a kicking pad for someone, right? And he's holding it, and this dude's like, just hold it still, man. And he goes up, and he kicks this pad so fucking hard, except nope, he misses the pad, and he kicks this guy right in his teeth. And just, I've got to show you the video. And everyone listening needs to hear the sound of this man's jaw break.
But as you search, I'll riff.
Thank you.
So Pena's got a lot to prove, because last time that I saw Pena have a big moment, she fought Shevchenko, and Shevchenko judo tossed her twice on her head, and finally submitted her by armbar. But by the end of the round, Pena almost had her. Pena had her in submission, had her in the same armbar at the end of the round, needed probably another minute. But Shevchenko hit her in the middle of the second round, the next round, and it was over. But that's a big girls fight, and this is just quintessential bantamweight, where you watch these bantamweight contenders get 2 or 3 wins, and then Holly Holm just comes in and shows them what the next level is.
Dude, have you ever seen or like heard Joe Rogan's kicks like impacting something? Like, have you ever heard it in person? Well, not in
Not
person,
in,
but
not in
like over
person.
the video. Oh, like this video. Like, I'm gonna play the sound of this man's kick. And I went,
ここについてですね。いや、熱いから。Technical you are,
come on,
and
Rogan.
I'm going to show him a couple of Taekwondo techniques, specifically the front leg side kick and how it transitions. And when I teach it,
Do I have to put my sidekick in roundhouse on display?
You should record your shit one time.
Yeah, how do I do this? Do I do it on my iPhone?
Yeah, and I can put it up.
Okay. I'll smash your bag. I'll go out there and do it.
I'm not. Well, here's the deal. Like,
I'll be there this weekend.
I'm not gonna do physical confrontations with anyone, because I've seen enough videos of these dudes who know how to fight, and I'm just gonna step back. And if someone gets too close to me, I have a gun. That's about as much as I. That's like, I got all my muscle I need, and it's in the form of 9mm. Okay, like.
Yeah, as you should. But let's go on a little bit more news in the women's division. We have the champion of the world, Valentina Shevchenko, finally having the fight of her life against Jessica Andrade.
Yeah.
That is the biggest women's fight you can possibly imagine.
I don't know if it's the biggest fight you could possibly.
Yes, it is.
Why?
Yes, it is.
Biggest fight you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. Who else? Andrade threw Rose Namajunas on her head.
Okay, do you remember the hype before when it was Holly Holm versus fucking what's her tits? Ronda. Before she lost. But like, remember?
Yeah, but those were huge odds. I would love to see the odds. They might be Andrade Valentina flat. It might be close. Like, I think they respect Andrade.
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, they do, but like, the biggest. I don't know. That seems far.
I think it's
I'll defer to your
judgment.
Something. I'll defer to your judgment, though.
I want to see the odds, but I like Valentina up front, but that's if they disrespect Andrade, that might be a tough odd to pass up. Yep. But going forward, we got TJ Dillashaw, who has suspension finally lifted.
Yep.
And who do we match make that guy with?
Sorry, everyone. I mean, whether or not who do we pick him with, or like who is the UFC most likely going to match him with? You know, I guess a question I have too: do these fighters get to determine their own fights, or does the UFC kind of tell them what their fights are going to be?
There are always there are a lot of things to consider. So Chael Sonnen always says sign 2 fight contracts. So if you win your first fight, you renegotiate, but if you lose, you have another fight on your contract to make it up. Right?
Right.
So that's what a lot of people have to consider, is that you gotta see who's doing this. So maybe Faber is on last fight of his contract, and he wants to have a moment of glory against TJ. Maybe that happens. There's been talks about it. But if you're a true diehard, you want the Sandhagen fight. But if you're a true diehard, you want the Aldo fight.
Well, okay. Sandhagen would be more of an entertaining fight, wouldn't it be?
That would be the one that's more pertaining to the rankings. But the Aldo TJ fight is for the sentiment. Because Aldo and Renan Barão had the biggest tie, where Aldo and Renan were the 2 greatest fighters out of Brazil, and TJ knocked the socks off Renan twice. One of those fights was in Chicago that I was at.
Damn.
And that was a wild night because he put on a in like a 30 punch combo on Hennen. And TJ's interesting because he's 35, 36 years old now, and that's tough to make 135 pounds. So you gotta wonder what kind of splash you can make in the division when you got murderers like Pedro and Aljamain Sterling fighting for the belt.
I mean, first of all, imagine trying to get down to 135.
I can't. I'm 6'5".
Oh my lord. Well, still, like, just, okay, 145. I don't know. Just imagine trying to get down, like, God, I would die.
I remember trying to make 185 pounds once, and I got to 192 and almost killed myself.
So I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you.
Like, I wasn't even close.
Well, I mean, that's kind of close. It's like 7 pounds off.
Yeah, but it's like, I've got to, like, I couldn't even jump rope the next day.
Oh, just...
Like, if you want me to play hopscotch against a third grader on a Saturday, no, dude, tap me out. I'm quitting. There would be people on podcasts saying that they had predictions on me, and then I tap out to a hopscotch. Like, that's what would happen.
Oh my lord.
But man, we've got this fight, which has been a referendum on the heavyweight division. But the next weekend, my goodly googly moogly, do we have Adesanya, Petro, Amanda Nunes?
Yeah.
The champs are here.
It's gonna be a good one, dude. It's gonna be a good one. This is the one that I'm not gonna complain about the pay-per-view price for. This is one of those ones that's like, all right, yeah, I'll pay that. You know, that we say that now, and then like tomorrow the fight gets canceled or some shit. Someone gets COVID.
No, nobody gets COVID. It's impossible.
They'll suppress it. If you have COVID, they just throw them in a locker somewhere. All right, stay here for like 4 days.
Nobody talks about it.
Just don't talk about it. Is that you wanting that, or is that for real?
Imagine Adesanya holding John Jones' belt.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
oh my gosh, that's whoa! I'm struggling to imagine it myself.
You're having quite the aneurysm, I see.
Yeah, because that's wild to think about, because John has been the best, and he's up at heavyweight, and you're wondering what he's going to do at heavyweight, but he is smoking out contenders.
Yeah.
He's done at middleweight. Will he be done at light heavyweight? I mean, Blachowicz just destroyed Reyes, who John just went to the wire with. So maybe, just maybe, is the guy? We're gonna see.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna fucking find out. That's the deal. And then we can find out if we're wrong as fuck again or not. And I'm sure someone will let us know.
Yeah, I mean, Blachowicz is such a seasoned veteran, and I think he's very powerful. I mean, all the guys talk about the Polish power in the left hand and all that stuff. But I think Izzy might be too crafty. I think he's gonna find the holes, but I wonder what kind of size Adesanya puts on. Because to be a 205er, you've really got to be 225. Like, you can't be undersized against these guys. We've said it for a while. There are weight classes for a reason.
Right. Well, right. Know what we should talk about? This is controversial.
Hurt me.
Very controversial. My former state, North Dakota, has now passed a bill requiring people to play the sport of their birth sex. So if you're a female, you must play female sports. If you're a male, you must play male, regardless of if you transition or not. Is this the right move, or is this not the right move?
I don't even know what to think. I mean, in high school sports and all sports, in
high school and down, like school age.
Like track and field, like
All of
the
it.
problem is we get to the point where you've got that guy setting world records for changing his gender for one day.
Zuby?
Who's that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at what point are we gonna start crossing boundaries?
Well, I think he did that to prove that the boundary has been crossed already. You know, so I think when people are making these laws, that it's almost trying to like rectify something that's already been happening. You know, that's what I think. I mean, I think that it's someone who doesn't want someone to like identify as a female for the day, blow everyone's world records away, and then go back to being a male the next day. Like, I think that's what it's trying to prevent, because like how easy would it be for like a dude to dress up in like a fucking skirt and then go out and play water polo and just drown a bunch of bitches. Like, just everyone's heads are underwater for fucking 20. Like, how easy would that be? You know. But there's other times when it's like tennis or some shit. Is that gonna make a huge difference? Because Serena Williams can serve a tennis ball through your fucking skull.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, as you say, Serena Williams can serve a tennis ball through your skull. We go right into my next talking point, which is Canelo Alvarez versus Yadim Ildarev. And that is a 50-1 fight.
What do you mean by that?
Canelo is a 50-1 favorite.
So
that would be the odds of me versus a
odds.
Williams sister.
Why would they even allow that fight?
Because he is the mandatory fight. So every so often when you have a belt in boxing, you have to defend it against the mandatory contender, and Ildarim is the guy. So he is a person who not only has taken a year or so off, but he's also a person coming off a loss. So he's coming off a loss, he's coming off a layoff, and he's going to fight the greatest boxer currently known.
First of all, it's at a 168, so
yeah.
I mean, God, I don't know. I mean, if he's been these past 2 years just hitting bags and fucking pumping iron and practicing and whatever, maybe. But
no. Canelo's the best.
Yeah, but okay, listen, man, we have had this argument before, and then it's like, I was so wrong. We have to give the benefit of the doubt here, otherwise we sound like idiots.
No, I will die on this hill.
Okay.
Canelo is the greatest boxer this current planet has seen, next to Tyson Fury. Like, those guys are right next to each other at this time. It's Canelo and Tyson Fury. They're equals. And Canelo is going to smash this guy within 4.
Within 4?
Within 4.
Damn, those are fighting words, man. He might come to your fucking house. That's some disrespect.
Bring Turkey Zone.
That's some shade,
Turkey Zone, Ildarim. He's very good. Don't get any mixed feelings about it. But when it comes to Canelo is the best man.
He is really fucking good.
You gotta bring 2 lunch boxes to fight Canelo, and you don't pack that second lunch. It's not gonna go well.
Is 50-1 appropriate?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I've got my notes here. If I was Amanda Nunes,
yep,
this is what I would be doing. I would be taking 50-1 squash matches.
I guess.
I would every 2 weekends. I would smash.
Just to remind motherfuckers what's up, or what do you like?
Well, you don't want to fight forever, but what you do want to do is make the stamp. And everybody, you're going to fight this girl, Megan Anderson. If you run through Megan in 2 rounds, you fight somebody in 2 weeks. Maybe you fight
just keep rolling fights.
You roll. You got to keep rolling. So if I was Amanda, because that's what Canelo's doing, is Canelo's trying to unify all the belts, and that's what he's doing with this mandatory fight. Is he has to defend the belt.
Right.
So once he has the belt, he's gonna fight Billy Joe Saunders, and that's a good one. But I think Canelo squeaks it out. But Saunders, he's very talented. He's a gamer.
Yeah.
He's a guy he raises to the level of competition. But I think Canelo's too technically skilled. But
I mean, that's out in May, so we don't even know if that fight's gonna fucking happen at this point.
it happens.
Maybe not even in May though. They might postpone it if some shit goes down.
No, dude, that's Cinco de Mayo. Are you crazy?
That is not Cinco de Mayo. That's May 8th.
That's Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Hold on, I'm pulling up the fucking calendar right now.
I know. I feel like I'm crazy. I'm losing it already.
Checking it out. Hold on. May.
But no, Canelo fights on Cinco de Mayo. That is the Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view weekend.
Okay, that's what I thought. Cinco de Mayo is it's a fucking Wednesday. There's no weekend.
It's the weekend. That's Cinco de Mayo weekend.
No fucking
that's what
weekend.
I'm saying.
It's in the goddamn
that's what I'm
week.
saying.
That doesn't make any
that's
sense.
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It makes sense to the people who know things.
If you don't think about it. If you just stop thinking about it entirely. Okay.
Know what I'm talking about.
Okay, it's the weekend after Cinco de Mayo. So what does that mean?
It's the weekend of Cinco de Mayo.
So, God damn it! It doesn't matter. Fucking...
That's where the people throw their money.
I don't understand how Cinco de Mayo has anything to do with Billy Saunders. He's white. White.
You know, I would have taken the credit for the weekend beforehand too.
I know
I would have gone hard
of wherever the fuck. It's 3 full days away. It doesn't make any sense for it to be in the weekend. It can't be. Like if it's on, it can't be.
I stand firm. That is pay-per-view dollars.
Oh Jesus fucking Christ!
But no, I think he smashes Ilderim, and then he goes on to take the Saunders fight, and that's for the marbles. That's when we really see how great Canelo is, and I believe he is that great, and I think he might tune up Saunders. But until he does that, man, that's the fight.
Fucking we're looking at fall at that point. By the time Canelo gets around to Saunders, we're looking at fucking fall, dude.
In May?
Well, no, because May is
in May.
Oh, it's May. Oh.
Yeah, in the month of May.
I get you. I mean, dude.
Were you thinking Cinco de Mayo was a different?
No, I wasn't. I was confused by the when you were talking about Canelo fighting and then Caleb Plant, and I'm reading when you wrote.
Because if he smashes Saunders, he goes immediately to Caleb Plant and unifies the super middleweight belts.
I get you, and then just makes what happens if he does that? He gets all 3, then
legend status.
Does he get his will they make him a belt to combine the other 3 belts and be like, yes, you've collected the belt like the Dragon Balls? Like he's collected all 3?
No. So there used to be back in the day the Horsemen, which were Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and Leonard.
Yeah.
And those 4 guys beat the brakes off each other. And what Canelo is attempting to do is go and show every single guy that division is nothing compared to him. And he is doing it at a higher weight class. You have to understand that not only is he doing it at 168, but he fought Mayweather at, I think 51? Maybe 47. But it was light, man. Like, he drained himself 20 pounds. Like, that wasn't Canelo when he fought Mayweather.
Just get super dehydrated and just super hungry and just feel like I'm gonna die.
Yeah, he was not only young, but he was willing to, and he was very talented at the time, and Mayweather scalped him. Because Mayweather saw his talent, saw what he was going to do at super middleweight, saw his career trajectory, and that's what Mayweather does. is he sees the super talented and takes him out very early. And that's what happened to Canelo.
Well, dude, I think I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna skip my little section here at the bottom, just because it's 11 by you, and you have to work at 4 a.m. and I have to be.
Oh, you don't want to go on?
I can't. I push back the meeting far. I have to be at the pushback time at least. If I push it back one more time, they might actually get pissed. Well, I'm pretty sure they're already pissed. Sorry, boys. If you're listening, I'm sorry. We've got priorities. This is obviously more important than sitting in that meeting. So.
You're saying this isn't the most important thing we've ever done?
This is more important to me. Yeah, I like this way more than going to meetings. This is way more fun. So I'd rather do this.
You don't want to quickly riff on some of those things? Just hit me.
All right.
With your notes.
Real quick. I want to talk about how Evgeny Malkin. He has like 0 points right now. He's basically fucking sucks. And he used to be like the anchor of Sid, who I have marker down here. I actually wanted to put him up high, but like Sid is still going hard. And Evgeny, who by the way constantly gets in trouble for doing shit, is falling behind. Everyone's like, what's his plans? If you're gonna go like Datsuk, go back to Russia like Datsuk did. Datsuk in Russia right now is fucking killing it. Do you know who Datsuk is? Number 13.
No.
He was number 13 for the for not the Pistons. Jesus Christ, for the Red Wings. And then his dad got like super sick, and so he like immediately retired from the NHL to go back by his family, and he just kind of stayed there, and he's just tearing it up over in Russia. And it's like, dude, come back, Jesus, we need you. Conor McGregor is like literally about to pass everyone in points again. He's gotten the most points. Like he's tied Sidney Crosby for most points in the shortest amount of time. And he's like going.
Wait, what did you just say?
He tied Sidney Crosby for the most points.
Wait, Conor McGregor?
Oh, goddamn.
Oh, you broke.
Conor McDavid.
You broke.
Conor McDavid.
You're broken.
It's Conor McDavid.
It's over. Our podcasting career is over.
I'm talking about Conor McDavid. Christ almighty. I'm just
Look at our notes.
I'm sorry, Conor McDavid. I even typed. Well, I fucking wrote McGregor.
Look at us. Oh no.
Retarded. You said Owen. Okay. Do you think the Olympics are going to happen in Tokyo this year?
No.
I don't either. So obviously the 2022 Olympics are coming up. So are they just going to cancel Tokyo? And it's just like that. It just doesn't happen. And then what happens to all the money that they spent on all the shit?
Dude, I don't know, man. I'm of the opinion that I don't believe the Olympics would happen if they currently propose it and it didn't have a 2,000-year history.
Right, absolutely not. No.
Like, if me and you were like, what if we got these 3-letter organizations? NBC, ABC, CBS, and ESPN. We get them all together, put the world's greatest athletes on, and we pay them nothing.
Right.
But then advertise McDonald's and a bunch of stuff for millions upon millions of dollars. It would never happen.
No. And it's actually bullshit the way it does happen today. You know, the Olympics kind of are a scam. Like, you're kind of like they're getting rid of wrestling. Like, that's the OG sport. How the fuck do you get rid of wrestling?
In the same breath that they're adding breakdancing.
Right. Like, what?
And they'll add esports. They will add esports. Within our lifetime, esports will be an Olympic event.
Well, first of all, it's already been introduced to the Olympic Committee, so it's...
Stop it.
What do you mean stop it? That's real. It got introduced to the Olympic Committee in 2014.
Oh my god, I'm so blind.
2014.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's like 5-6 years ago now. 7 years. Fuck, 7 years. Fuck me times the son of a bitch. But like we can talk like with East games and stuff. You know, China is like they basically threatened the fuck out of Steam and Valve. Valve owns Steam, which is like an e-gaming platform, and like they censor everything in it. Like you can only play like 30 fucking games. And there's no community tab, so you can't talk to anyone or have fun. There's no gore allowed or bones or anything, so like all the games are changed.
Yeah, I mean, they blocked Animal Crossing.
And now, not only that, now they're going into censoring like real sports too. So not only just the Great Firewall of China, but because the Great Firewall of China is their web domain that like blocks everyone from coming in. So they're doing the same thing almost with like regular sports. So like it's gonna be like China only leagues, and everyone else has to like they're gonna block them from everything. So is there gonna be some? I really hope that there's gonna be some sort of fucking revolution in that country because holy shit, I don't understand how they just take it. I don't get it. Gotta unmute your mic, bud. Welcome back.
I mean, you're welcome. I mean, I thought we were talking about the Olympics.
We were, but I'm talking about now how they're like let's say the Olympics happen, right? And let's say China doesn't want to sponsor that anymore or whatever, and then it's just blocked from that many people in the world.
Well, no, that's not going to happen because they won't give up that many gold medals.
I suppose.
Because China, in my humble opinion, will never give up the Olympics because they have to prove to the world that they are the best and they will have the most gold medals. It's between them, Russia, and us.
Yeah.
And by us, I mean the United States. And it's, the United States has done well, but it's been a rat race to the top, and I think China would do an arm and a leg to do it.
Right.
And I think if they can do it consecutively, back-to-back years, with the Olympics in the state that they're in,
right,
that would be big league for them.
Well, it would be because I mean their economy is basically propped up on stolen intellectual property. I mean their airplanes are they're if you look at their trends like their airplanes, they look exactly like Boeing aircraft because it basically is. Their fighters look like the Lockheed Martin fighters. They have literally the same exact layout of Microsoft, but it's called like China soft, whatever the fuck they run. You know, like it's just they rip everything off. They've decided that they're gonna skip the R&D portion of the investment and just go straight for profits, baby. And it worked. It worked so well. No one seems to care.
Well, it's not that nobody cares. It's that they have exploited American greed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They absolutely have.
So, we don't, this isn't the podcast that we do here.
No, we're just talking.
But greed is the original sin. We spoke on the GameStop stock, and this applies to that, where greed is the original sin, where it fuels all things.
It really does.
And that's, once you put those lenses on, it's a little easier to see the daylight.
I suppose. That's good. That's a good final word of advice to everyone. Get those sunglasses on, bitches. To look for the light.
What's
all right,
up?
man. Well, it's been another fun one with you, dude. We'll reconvene, and we're talking about doing these 2 podcasts a week, and we'll discuss that further.
Well, I don't think we have to discuss it further, more so than we have to decide which days we're going to be wrong on.
That's what I mean. That just logistically shit is all that it means for me.
Quit flying all over the place.
Man, Nashville, I'm coming to fucking see you this weekend, motherfuckers. Hit me up. I talked about it on my Jake Ryder show. Hit me up. I'll be in town. Be at Zany's. Zany's Comedy Club is the shit. I just sent them some more material too on the web, so I'm pretty excited. So, all right. That's about wraps it up for me. Anything else, Paul?
No, not a thing.
Well,
but
thanks for listening, everyone.
That's it.
Appreciate you guys, and that's about it. We'll see you guys next week. See ya.